Welcome to another edition of Patriots No Huddle. Steve Ballesteri, Derek Havens here as your host, as always. Hopefully, Mike Diabate can join us. He is in parts unknown, having a little internet issues. It's okay,
Yeah,
but
he has power outage.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but so
Mike sent him power
hopefully
outage.
we'll hopefully get him joined in soon. Please do subscribe to us on our PatsFans.com YouTube channel. Like, share, leave us a review, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Keeps us high in those Patriots, fan rankings, so other fans can find us. Steve, Patriots are booming right now. Not the perfect win, but a win is a win, whether it's an inch or a mile. And today they got the job done again at home against the Browns. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm doing quite well. Thank you. Yeah, look, they started off sluggish in the first half. They went 0 for 2 down in the red zone. The defense started off slow again. But
Mm-hmm.
once again, once they ironed out their issues at the beginning, they caught fire in the third quarter, outscored them 21-zip, and then put the game basically, you know, that was over by the third quarter. Um, at that point it was 30-7, and I don't think anyone in the world expected Cleveland to be able to score 31 points. So that game was over and done early. Um, but again, Drake May, what another outstanding performance. We said, oh, well, he's not going to be able to complete 91% against the number one pass defense, right? But
Yep.
75%
Just
is
did it.
pretty darn good.
Yep.
You know, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have the one pick, but his passer rating again, 135.7, a new Patriots record.
He continues to do it. I mean, it's almost gotten to the point, Steve, where I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I was with a friend of mine, and we're watching the game, and I am just waiting for Drake May to have just like a bad game. And he's just balling right now. Like, there was like 4 or 5 throws today that are just sick. I mean, like, just nasty throws. And even the first half, Steve, you look at the first half of this game, they're down. What was it? Was it 6-3?
seven to
I want to
six.
say
Yeah.
7-6. Okay, and then the Patriots had their last field goal before the half, so it was 9-7, and all of a sudden you were like, okay, bad half, not perfect. 3 road games in a row. Now you're at home. Now you're just trying to go ahead and set the tone, and they go ahead and do it. And then the second half started, and they didn't miss a little bit. Like, the third quarter was about as impressive as you're gonna see. I mean, they were just surgical.
Yeah. And the defense, after that first drive, Cleveland really did nothing until garbage
Mhm.
time. They only ended up with 213 yards of total offense, um, which is,
By the way,
you're not,
also a 75-year record, which is 8 games through the season now. They have also held opposing running backs to under 50 yards per game. Um,
yeah, Quinshon Judkins, right? We were talking about him.
he had
Prior to
1 or
the
2
game,
big runs early,
yeah,
and that was
well,
it.
yeah, but he didn't have any of them. You
Mhm.
know, he only ended up with 9 carries for 19 yards. He had three
Yep.
catches for -2 yards. You knew the Patriots made him their number one target today. And it showed. They did a fantastic job of limiting him to be a factor. And he wasn't. They had that one big run from Malachi Corley, the wide receiver, in that first drive, which was awful. They gave up the 19-yard pass on third down. They gave up a 31-yard run, and then the 18-yard touchdown with blown coverage. And I'm just like, my goodness, these slow starts by the defense. But after that, for the rest of the game, Cleveland basically had 140 yards of offense.
Yep.
I mean,
And you're seeing kind of a trend with this Patriots defense where they are essentially not, it's basically like a feel you out process. Like they're just like, okay, show us your hand, and then we're going to go ahead and adjust. And they've done that week after week after week after week. And with the Patriots, they had their own issues, and we'll get to it. And they did a lot of good things as well. But that's one of those things that I definitely think stick out is they are 100% like just letting the opponent kind of dictate things at first and then making adjustments. And you saw that from the defense, and I do think as well. Who'd you say? Malachi Corley, Jenkins. Um, we did see a couple issues with Fannin and Njoku
mhm.
at times, which I was worried about. I said that, in the pregame show. Um, I was a little worried about that. That did show up, but overall, I thought they were able to go ahead and overcome those things. Defensively, we were worried about Denzel Ward, which was kind of hit or miss. Um, but Miles Garrett, man, what a day! I mean, that guy is such a freaking monster. He's impossible to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, 5 sacks. I mean, um, there's no getting around that. And we knew. I mean, look, this guy is he's a beast. He's arguably the best defensive player in the league right now. He had himself quite a day. He had a couple of sacks against Will Campbell early, and then they were moving him around. He ended up with some more. Look, but at the end of the day, you know, his sacks didn't amount to anything. I know I'm kind of lessening the problem there that they had with him,
Mm-hmm.
but they ended up throwing for 280 something yards, almost 300 yards. They rushed for 177, and they still put up 30 plus points on the day. And you put up 30 points against that offense, you're going to win every single time.
I'm
So,
going to say something very critical of a player that we talked about before he was even drafted, a player that that I love, Will Campbell. He got his lunch money taken today. Miles Garrett beat the brakes off of it wasn't just Will, by the way. It was I don't care if it was tight ends. He moved around. He does this new like thing where he kind of created like this thing they're calling like the AI crossover where
mhm,
he like stands between like the tackle and the guard and he like does
yep.
this swaying motion and then he kind of like jets in. It- Kill him.
Yeah,
Killed
I
him
mean,
today.
hey, it wasn't a great day for the pass protection.
No.
Um, but again, Drake may cover it up a lot of those warts. He was able to move in the pocket, get rid of the football. He scrambled for 50 yards. Um,
There's probably 3 or 4 plays without watching it again. There's probably 3 or 4 plays that he was chased down from behind, or whether he was chased down and tackled, or he was throwing it as he was getting rid of it, where I was like, dude, you got to feel that pressure. You got to, because it was coming. And but they were trying to manipulate the coverage because they were just getting beat. I mean, that was just
yeah,
what was happening.
yeah. Well, and then Mac Hollins had himself a day. I mean,
Yeah,
he led all receivers, you know, with catches and yardage. You know, the the barefoot guy who came in dressed like a chess piece
yep,
this morning. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw it. Yep.
Yeah, but he had himself a fantastic day. They had a 21-yard hole shot again with Drake May in between three defenders. just a great throw. Nice catch by Hollins. He had another 19-yard catch and run, and they had that little trickery. Josh was feeling it, and they had the lateral to Ramondre. He lateraled it back to May, and he hit, Mac Hollins for 21 more. I mean, Hollins had himself a great day, and
Steve, let
can't
me ask
take
you
that away
this.
from Tayshaun Boutte, another 75-yard day, including that 39-yard gorgeous touchdown.
Yep.
I mean,
Who
that's
continues
becoming
to stack weeks together? I mean, that's just becoming the regular thing.
that's becoming like a habit with those two, and it is so nice to see because they've struggled for several years getting those explosive plays, from the offense, and it's just so nice to see it
By the
because
way,
it's been.
I was gonna say, by the way, if anyone from DraftKings is listening, I can show you the proof. I did have Keishion Booty anytime touchdown scored today, so if we can go ahead and get a little play for the show, just throw it out there. Just who knows who's listening? Just saying, I could see that happening. I'll tell you
Yeah,
right now,
I
Steve,
don't know. I don't know if you want to be. I don't know if
Drake May. Go ahead. What?
I don't know if you want to be mentioning gambling right now in
Yeah, maybe
context of
not.
what's
The
going
FBI
on.
is about to just break down my ceiling. No, yeah,
We'll have the
uh,
FBI on us here.
yeah. Adam Silver is shaking in his mansion. But I would say the whole shot. When you talk about whole shots for Drake May, usually it's above the linebacker or cornerback in zone, and it's underneath the safety on the sidelines. He has that. The deep ball over the middle seam throws. Those are in Drake May's bag, man, and he is showing that he doesn't give a F. Like, he
Yeah,
doesn't care.
what's his Demario Douglas had a 44-yard catch and run. So
I just think Drake is fearless, and
he's feeling it right now. I mean,
yeah,
his confidence level is through the roof,
yep.
and it's easy to see, because and the way he approaches the game, and that is so refreshing because it's like we were concerned. This is a very intricate offense, and how long it was going to take. Because going back just 7-8 weeks ago, we were talking about it's probably going to take a while for all of the pieces to come together. I think it's coming together really quickly,
Well, I
and
think
it's getting better every week.
what I think's most exciting, Steve, is the fact that Drake May, we knew he had the talent, but right now, I think what we're seeing is that the talent on certain levels is overcoming the deficiencies of the rest of the team. And you're seeing that being all put together. And you're seeing it, putting guys in like perfect spots. And that's Josh McDaniels too. That's Vrabel too. I'm not saying that has anything to do with the offensive line or any other players. They are actually seeing the quarterback basically being like, I can take this over, and this is what I'm going to do. And man, you're seeing him sling it. I mean, if you don't think Drake May is a top 3 MVP candidate right now, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, he's absolutely killing it.
I know he's been trying his best to downplay that, and I know why. I mean,
And I get it. I get it.
but I mean, even today, I mean, after the game, Booty was leading the charge for MVP, and actually, May was saying that he didn't even hear the chants from the crowd
It came through the broadcast for me.
after he
Did you
made
hear
that
it?
run where he made that terrible. Huh?
Mhm. It came through the broadcast for me.
Yeah, he
I
made
could
that
hear it.
terrible slide.
Yep.
Yeah, and I guess the guys in the huddle were giving him grief about his terrible slide, and Vrabel said they're going to send him after the game. He said, we're going to send him to spring training next year to teach him how to slide. So,
Yeah, that's funny.
but
Offensively from a receiver position, good to see Stephon get into the end zone just because I know we're in the honeymoon phase with him. But he's done everything right, at least up until this point, and he's kind of shown that he's willing to be a team player. He got in. Um, you saw a couple of other guys get in there. I was a little frustrated with the offense at times because I felt like every single time they did the play action rollout shoot, like they were getting results and they kind of went away from that. I thought you saw with Austin Hooper and a couple other, players, like it was totally backwards. And then it was like, okay, we're going to do just like drop back traditional offense. They were stuck. Then Travion Henderson, he has a couple of big runs early, then they just take him away from the game and then try to put him back in. It's like you might as well keep the guy rolling. Um,
yeah,
little unhappy with I think from a um, pessimistic standpoint. I don't care for the inconsistency of the play calling.
yeah, I think sometimes, and again, we talked about this offline. Sometimes Josh fakes himself out, right?
Hmm.
Um, but overall, I mean, the offense, they just, I mean, they just look so, balanced right now. They're running the football. I mean, 2 weeks in a row. I mean, you know, after the Titans game, where they ran for 175 yards, we said, well, they're not going to be able to run like that against Cleveland, but they ran for 177. And when they
Hmm.
have that kind of balance, everything falls into place. So even with the pressure that was being put on May, the offense still generated almost 400 something yards of offense.
Yep.
That's, I mean, and that's supposed to be the number one defense in the NFL. Now, I've been saying, all week long to anyone who cared to listen, I don't think they're that good. I think they're a good defense. I think they showed that, especially with their pressure, and they have
Yep.
Miles
They had
Garrett.
they had their moments.
Yeah, but and again, that team is not the '85 Bears, and I thought people were getting carried away with, the, the talking about Cleveland's defense all week long. I'm like, give me a break, guys, because I saw more than one person, and I'm not going to mention anybody's names, but um, and people were predicting the games, and I saw a couple of people say they were going to lose today 10-3. And I'm like, if you think the Patriots aren't going to score more than 3 points on this defense, I think you're giving them a little too much credit. Um, and they should have ended up with even more.
I mean, they missed multiple chances. I mean, the Browns defense, again, good. I don't want to take away
No, they're
credit to
good.
them.
They're
They're
very good.
they they're a good defense. Um, I thought Drake had a couple of again, I would say probably four, probably closer to five or six uh throws that he had today that were just I mean, chef kiss. Like you couldn't ask for a better toss. Um, and I think you're seeing just them gain confidence in themselves. I think the problem with Drake and Josh is that Drake gets reckless at times, and he's gotten away with it more often than not. But I think Josh gets too creative, too cute, and those two things can kind of mix into a bad spot. It hasn't really yet, but I know the flaws. Um, but I think defensively, I guess let's back up. I guess the biggest thing for me is that the reason the game was as close as it was were Patriots mistakes early, and then I thought the defensive front seven for the Browns just had a field day, and the Patriots were just trying to navigate around that. And that to me was the biggest thing that I was like, okay, now it's time to figure out how we counterbalance that.
Yeah, and again, Quig makes a good point. I didn't think it was bland. I just thought they made too many mistakes. That first drive, they had like blown coverages and missed assignments, and you know like that 31-yard run. I mean, my goodness. And then the two passes to Fannin for the touchdown. I mean,
Well, to me, and Quig brings up a similar point to what you're bringing up, and to me, that goes back to what I was worried about in our last show, in the pregame show, where I was a little worried about the tight ends because what happens is that the tight ends create the mismatches, right? So all of a sudden they're running free and they were finding the holes, and it was like, okay, you got that to worry about. We got to take care of these guys, and you got everybody else. But there were a lot of guys. I'm not even sure. I'm not even looking at the box score. Did Jerry Judy catch a ball today? Maybe
no,
one.
no.
But he was.
Judy did not. He was
I mean, Christian
thrown.
Gonzalez is lights out. But
Yeah.
like, what are you going to do on the tight ends? And then you have to worry about the running backs. Well, the running backs that they didn't get the 50 yards. Dylan Gabriel looked lost on
Well,
so many
and I'll tell
levels.
you what, the Patriots made it a point. Did you see the starting defense on the first snap? They only had three defensive backs on the field.
Mhm.
They had
Because
two
they were
corners
worried
and
about the
one
heavy
safety.
package.
They did not fear Dylan Gabriel, and they made that very, very clear. Now, they had some busts there on that first drive, but ultimately it played out. I mean, you know, and Quick brings up another interesting point. Barmore did not play in the first two series, and Vrabel said after the game that it was a discipline issue,
Mhm.
and he played regularly after once the third series came in. But he Quick wants to know what Barmore did again in Vrabel's doghouse. I would love to hear that as well. We probably never will, but you know, it is what it is. But I thought Tonga played well in their first two series, especially like that very first play of the game. He had that nice stuff for -2. I mean,
I mean,
he's
what else is new? I mean, that needs to be in the top 2 or 3 line items for the team as soon as the season's over for them to make sure he's re-signed.
yeah. I mean, again, like the two guys today, Tonga, who we mentioned, Mac Hollins led all receivers. I think those were the two least popular moves that they made in free agency. I mean, people kind of poo-pooed a lot of that, and some people were claiming that Tonga wouldn't even make the team.
Mhm.
And same with Hollins. I think a lot of people thought Hollins wouldn't even make the team, and I think they need to make sure that they retain their services next year.
Yeah, I totally agree. Um, I do want to touch on this, Steve, and then we can go into whatever you want to talk about. But to me, I feel very. I'm kind of amazed by the fact that Drake May continues to stack some of these games together. I mean, these passer rating numbers are ridiculous, and Look, some people can say that passer rating is overrated, and that's fine. But like he's continuing to stack these week by week by week by week, and it's almost like the pessimist in me, the Massachusetts man in me is always like, well, it's there's another shoe to drop. It's not happening. He he is so efficient right now.
Well, it reminds me of when Brady took over back in 2001, right? He gradually built up, his resume, and as he went along, and the team got better and better, and then they won the Super Bowl, and I remember doing the same thing with Brady.
Hmm.
Is he going to really be that guy, or was this just a flash in the pan? And then I remember it was like the 2004 season. I'm kind of leaning forward in my chair during one game, and somebody mentioned, "What are you all nervous about?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm still, And they like, Brady's been doing this now for 3 years. Uh, this isn't a flash in the pan type thing. This guy is the real deal." And then, of course, it just kept snowballing from there. And I think we're seeing the same thing. Not saying he's going to be Tom Brady, but
Yeah,
he's
because
going
that'd
to be
be
special.
that would be. I mean, and I'm not putting words in your mouth. And I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but that would be unfair to Drake to be
Yeah.
yeah, I don't care what major sport, any sport, like that's not fair to say to him like, oh, you're gonna
No,
be like this. Like
no, but
that's
he's breaking Tom Brady's records.
yeah.
Yeah, he broke another one today. I mean, and it's just like we're running out of superlatives. But I
Hmm.
will say this: there's one other thing I wanted to touch on, and it wasn't a good thing today. I thought the special teams had a terrible day, other than Andy Borregales. They had three penalties. Um, the Browns recovered an onside kick of all things. And then Bryce Behringer had a 15-yard punt, which led to their final touchdown. Granted, the game was already over by that point, but still, those are the kind of things you can't have on special teams. And, you know, um, I was just like, I thought special teams would factor in a very positive way today. But other than Borregales' kicking, especially in the first half, um, I thought special teams kind of let them down a little bit today.
Yeah, no, they did. I would say that with the special teams, Barrier had a really rough day. Um, I didn't think the coverage was great, 100%. Um, Marcus Jones, by the way, um, one thought's leading to another. Marcus Jones, by the way, excellent, excellent job in the secondary again. He usually only gets credit for his special teams, but I thought he was terrific in coverage,
All
and I
over the
want to give
field
him a
today.
shout out.
Yep.
He was especially early when the team was struggling. Like
Yes.
they had no doubt. Um, and I thought that was definitely a thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
And yeah, I thought Marcus Jones, he had two pass breakups. He had a tackle for a loss. I mean, I thought he was just he's piling these games on top of each other. Robert Spillane had an interception, 14 tackles, two tackles for loss. So I mean, and that kind of played into their their philosophy today was they were going to take away that running game and they were going to force Gabriel to beat them, and they were able to do that. Cleveland only ran for 68 yards total as a team. 31 of them came on that first drive, one run. Um, you know, during that first drive. So, yeah, I thought that was their game plan. I think they did that very, very well today. And Spillane was right in the middle of everything. I mean, you know, and look, Christian Gonzalez, he took Jerry Judy. He kind of erased him. I mean, they only threw to him twice and didn't complete either one. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't all that bad defensively. Again, it was the start was horrible, and then they it went down from there. I mean, the only other thing that I didn't care for, they only had one sack today, and I thought they would have piled up a lot more. You know, so
Well, let's just go back from this. Let's just put a bow on the conversation. We're basically halfway through the season. We're close. Um,
yep,
Obviously they've had a lot of success. We're feeling good. Patriots fans riding
6-2.
high. We're riding high. What can we do as we go into these next two games? Because next two games are going to be tough, and we're going to get into the first one against the Falcons this week. When we get Mike back on, we'll probably do the show Wednesday around noon, as usual, sometime around noon. What do you think uh, is your stance right now? To me, my immediate feeling is the Patriots. I'm worried about their depth because I don't think that they have a ton of. I don't think they have a ton of depth from a roster standpoint, and I'm just waiting for them to go ahead and figure things. Um, like from a roster standpoint, I just don't think they have a ton of options. Like they're going to be, you
Right.
know,
Well, if they run into an injury bug, then it's
they're
gonna,
screwed. I mean, they're screwed.
yeah, it's gonna be tough for them
Yep.
because they don't have that depth in a lot of places. But um, right now they're riding high. They've won 5 in a row. They're now 6-2. I think teams are taking notice. And like you said, the next two games are going to be tough. Atlanta has played really, really well. Um, but then again, today, I mean, they look terrible against the Jets. You know,
Yep.
and I was like, what happened to that team that was like just riding high? And was that a Sunday night or a Monday night game a couple of weeks ago? And they didn't even look like the same group. And again, I mean, you know, every week is different. Um, you know, but that Tampa game will be tough. Yeah, that'll be on the road. Um, the Bucks look good today against the Saints divisional game. So you know, but I
Well,
don't
I
know.
think I think the most important thing for the team right now is
I'm
I
sorry,
think they.
Miami. I was saying the Jets. Um,
I knew what you meant. It's all right.
yeah,
I think the most
Miami.
important. I think the most important thing for the Patriots right now is just simply just looking at basically what they've done to this point. It's working. Defense a little stingy, quarterbacks playing out of his mind. Guys are working. It's not perfect, but it's better. But what can you do? And what I'm thinking right now is you're looking down the line, you need to figure out, okay, teams are going to start to adapt to you. So what can you do to adjust? Um, and that's why I was super happy to see Travion Hendrickson, or Henderson, in more involved today because I think that he brings a different element to this offense, and I think it's great for his confidence as well. I wasn't hitting the panic alarm, with him not getting as many snaps or carries, but I did want to see him get him more involved. They got him more involved, and I think that's only going to open up what I think Josh and Drake do so well, which is the play action passing game.
Yeah, I think that those are all good points, you know. So
Yep. All right, let's get into final thoughts, Steve. I guess go for it. What are your final thoughts from this game?
well, I mean, I think they did what they needed to do today. They were facing a team they should have won, and they did. Um, you know, they started off slow again, but you know, by halftime they were ahead, just you know, on field goals. But then you know they blew the game open in that third quarter, and you know they put that game away before the third quarter was over. So you know it was one of those. It wasn't like you said. It wasn't pretty, and but it got the job done. And now they're still on a roll. You know, and I think things are still looking up for this team. I mean, they have a couple of tough games coming up, and I think they could conceivably win either or both of those. You know, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited for Drake May because I think this kid is. We're running out of superlatives every week to talk about
I think that's a terrific point. I would say Drake's playing great. Um, Offensive line, I think, has been up and down. I'd still like to see a little bit more from the backs. Loved that they were giving Henderson more touches today. Loved that Diggs got into the end zone because he's been at least in the honeymoon phase, he's been such a great leader for them. Defensively, I thought they were crashing down on the backs pretty good. Christian Gonzalez played outstanding today. He's not going to get a lot of attention, but he should. He played just insane. And Bordalis has been consistent. So I want to
it.
give him a shout out as well. So that to me has been good. But for Steve Balistrieri, I'm Derek Havens. I want to thank everyone for listening to this Patriots edition of No Huddle. Mike Diabate will be joining us next time, as always. Please do subscribe to us on Patriots No Huddle on our Pats Fans YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and those things keep us high in those standings so other Patriots fans can find us. We will be back on Wednesday, and we will be touching upon the game against the Falcons in Week 9 as the Patriots hope to ascend to go ahead and beat a pretty hot opponent and hopefully go ahead and push their playoff hopes in a familiar spot. So please join us then, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming on.